This past week, a lot of people seem to have gotten very excited about the pending Supreme Court decision on gay marriage and state laws. While it's highly unlikely that any significant ruling will come out of this, it does open the opportunity to discuss one of the key wedge issues used to divide the so-called left and right. This debate is convoluted and tainted with ignorance and deep-seated emotions. My intention isn't to muddy those waters, but rather to reframe the issue. First of all, what is marriage? People often think of it as a romantic or religious ritual, but when it comes down to it, marriage is a contract. And to be more specific, it's a financial contract. It's an agreement made between two people to merge their financial responsibilities and to assure that the assets are left to the surviving signatory if one passes away. In the past, marriage determined whether children born of a couple were legitimate and therefore had rights to that property. But this concept of legitimacy is no longer a determining factor in laws concerning inheritance, nor does it have any bearing on parental responsibility as it did in the past. Child support is tied to the biological parent, regardless of marital status. Of course, in a legal sense, marriage has become much more than this in the United States due to special privileges, rights, and protections which the state doles out only to married couples. For example, tax breaks and shared retirement benefits. The problem here is that, thus far, the federal government has only allowed heterosexual couples to enter into this contract and refuses to respect or enforce same-sex marriage contracts established on the state level. Equal protection under the law is really a myth, and it always has been. But the underlying question is this: why is it that people feel that the government even has the right to make such decisions? Shouldn't the rules and protections that govern normal contracts apply here? Would it be any different to say that straight people have the right to take out a home loan, but gays do not? A home loan is a contract. Should the federal government arbitrate who can buy a home and who can't? If so, what's to stop them from making similar discriminations based on your religious beliefs or political affiliations? I'm sure that there are people that the Department of Homeland Security would prefer didn't reproduce or raise children. Should they be able to make such decisions? Now, of course, there are those who would assert that this is a moral issue and that the government does indeed have the right to make rulings on moral issues. But that position really requires intentionally disregarding our observations in nature. Homosexual behavior has been observed in almost 1,500 species and has been well documented in 500. The list ranges from chipmunks to dolphins to koalas, baboons, bats, buffaloes, and elephants. Are these moral deviants? Do they need therapy? Are they threatening the family life of their species? I really don't see how you can make that argument. This isn't a moral issue. It's a biological issue. And it should be dealt with in the same way that we deal with every other biological trait. Those who contend that gays choose this for themselves in spite of the immense social difficulties it causes them should be honest with themselves. If you're a man, could you just make the choice to stop being attracted to women? As far as I've seen, that doesn't really work. Now, if you've listened to talk radio over the past several years, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that this is often framed as an attack on the family or on family values. As someone who's married and has a family, I don't understand that claim, and nor does my wife for that matter. How would two men or two women getting married have any effect on our marriage? I've never felt anything even remotely close to a threat from a gay couple. What's the underlying fear here? Are you concerned that straight boys will see two men together and decide to change camp? Would it have caused you to change camp? If you're secure in who you are, then such things really shouldn't shake you. If you love your children unconditionally, the thought of them turning out gay shouldn't traumatize you. It's not fair to project your own discomfort and repression outward. Rather than trying to control the lives of others or to limit their freedoms, it would be much more productive to start looking within. Here's what it comes down to. Regardless of how you organize society, if you allow an authority to impose the personal biases of one group over another, you open the door to intrusions into your life when the culture changes its opinion on a topic. And make no mistake, this can and will happen. If you can't see this, then you haven't studied history. As such, it's up to you to set the proper precedent. If you want those from the other end of the political spectrum to respect your rights, then you need to respect theirs. If you want people to hear this message, then please share this video. Share it to Facebook, share it to Twitter, post it on your website, and be sure to subscribe to this channel, Storm Clouds Gathering on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/StormCloudsGathering, on Twitter @CollapseUpdates, and of course our website, stormcloudsgathering.com.